Instructor Fireheart. Okay, so to recap from basically every card yesterday, you cannot build around a legendary effect with a unique effect unless you are going to draw your entire deck. The reason that I like Instructor Fireheart is because a 3-mana 3/3 discover a spell, and sometimes it gets you multiple spells. But it is usually going to be, I think, like, I think about the amount of times I've run Tempo Electra, and I've run Tempo Electra a lot. And this is way better than that. A 5 is something we build around hockey, so I'm not building around this card. I'm just putting this in Shaman decks. I don't think there is a way to make a Shaman deck that says Fireheart makes this deck viable, but I think I can say Fireheart is a good Shaman card. 3-mana 3/3 Discover a Spell. If it was just 3-mana 3/3 Discover a Spell, we'd think about it. But it also scales over time, right? It can be like, okay, hockey, you get to build around this card. I am not doing that, but you do you. That sounds hilarious. But I just want to play this on turn 5 and discover a spell and play it and then get another spell. I want to play this on turn 7 and play 2 spells and get another spell. Or I want to play this on turn 3 and then say, go, I have a 3-drop. I just really like the card. Brolin, thank you for the follow. Welcome. I just want to play this card in Shaman decks. I think the value is really good. I also will get to... Okay. This is a spell damage card. It does not keep going because it's not around anymore. This is a spell damage card. This is a spell damage card. How much spell damage access do we have? Really, that's it? We'll play this. We'll play this. We might play Reservoir, but probably not. These are all expensive. Actually, not that many spell damage cards. But yeah, Hero Power. And we get to play Squall Hunter. Squall Hunter's so crazy good. But we play Rune Dagger. We do this. Yeah, I suppose play Hearthstone is better for this, but we're not going to be on here that long. Do we play Og Merchant? Probably. We probably do. But yeah, Rune Dagger is a strong card. Is this the payoff? This is kind of the payoff, right? Building the deck around the weapon. So that's the question. Do we build a deck around the enabler or this? I guess, like, if we don't hit Raz... So we just play Raz on curve, right? And if we're building the deck around... So we build the deck around the enabler. But, like, so a build around, you have the enabler and the payoff, right? You can have both. You can have both in there. But I think we just play this. No, the burn spells are... When you have a build around, it's where you start. You say, okay, where am I starting this deck? And you start this deck with... I think you start this deck with Raz in it and with Rune Dagger. Like, I think those are the first 3 cards in your deck. And then you say, what makes this happen? This can go face. We'll come back to that. That is a good point. Yeah. Agree, Hockey, exactly that. We're building around Overgrowth, but Mount Cellar's the payoff. So, we start with Overgrowth. Yeah. Okay. I'm swayed by that argument. It's just a good card. Just a powerful card. Speaker Gidra. I feel like I just want this card whenever I can play it. I just want this card all the time. Like, Storm's Wrath in a token deck. Ooh, Woomans. Speaking my language. And you know what else is good with Storm's Wrath, by the way? Is Diligent Note Taker. Diligent Note Taker is great. It gains... What do you mean with Kael'thas? It gains stats equal to the green number in the top left of the first card that she sees. I'll finish saying what we're saying, Speaker Gidra. I think this is just a good card on curve with any spell, basically. Basically with any spell. Devolving Missiles. Devolving Missiles. 1 mana. I mean, we already have access to Earthshock. Why aren't we playing this over Earthshock? We Devolve. Devolve is a good card. Devolve is a good card, right? But this is not a universal everything you're playing. Could be tribal synergies, but that's pretty specific. I'm trying to think of when we would main deck it. Monte Carlo, I live there. I will just write simulations instead of doing the math. Well, just Earthshock at Casual R. If we wouldn't play Earthshock, we wouldn't play this. This is worse than Earthshock because it's only good consistently when your opponent only has 1 minion, and then we just silence it. Rattlegore meta. If there is a Rattlegore meta, I would love to see it. Earthshock is still better against Argent Braggart. Yeah, I'm sure you love Rattlegore Berserk. That seems like a Berserk card. What's up, Jake and Dance? Yeah, there will be some kind of Control Warrior. Wait until Recruit Warriors Tier 1? Maybe. Okay. So, hold on. First of all, I'm calling this a tech card and I'm moving on. Second of all, these two cards should probably be evaluated together. Totemic Reflection, really, really strong with Totem Goliath. Totemic Reflection, really, really strong with Totem Goliath. Also, it's kind of just a minion that 4 bodies when it dies is kind of better. Overload 2 is a lot. Overload 2 is a lot, but it's a body that has bodies inside of it. Enthrallment kind of convinced me in this card. Wire is hard in this card. It is slow, right? And Totem Shaman, if it loses the board, I don't know if this is getting you back. But I think that it kind of helps us snowball a little bit. It copies really well with Totemic Reflection. Maybe that's a dream? Are either of these... Yeah, it's a tech card. It's a tech card. That's it. That's true of almost everything. 8/8 Rush for 6 Overload 2 is not retaking too many boards right now. I don't think that's retaking a lot of boards. That's a big mana investment for the upfront bodies that just kind of fold. Because if we're rushing, then we're trading them off. We don't retake the board, it's just a removal spell, right? So, if you're using Runic Carvings as removal, just play Lightning Storm. If you're using Runic Carvings as removal, you can play Lightning Storm, it's the same thing. If you're using Runic Carvings for bodies, then sure. But, like, I guess the flexibility is a thing. In Storm's Wrath, if you want to take the next turn off, I don't really want to do that. Yeah, yeah, Totem Shaman is usually really, really, really fast. But I think Goliath is more likely to see play than Runic Carvings. I wonder where we're playing Runic Carvings. I'm wondering, that doesn't go face. That's not going face. I don't know. I'm glad you like Enthrallment. With 2 Bloodlusts, we want to get on the board a lot faster than this. A lot faster. I don't think we're actually going to end up playing Runic Carvings. I feel like it's kind of unlikely that we're going to end up playing it. Maybe it's 6 mana for 4 bodies, that's enough. Maybe it's fine for a mediocre Glowfly Swarm, but it's really mediocre as Glowfly Swarm. I feel like we're not going to end up playing this card. Totem Goliath is worse than Teacher's Pet? I am not sure that's true. But it probably is. I don't think we're going to end up playing this. S is not a tier. I'm going to leave it like this. I don't think we're going to end up playing this card. Maybe. If we have a Bloodlust deck that in a lower powered meta, then maybe, but we're not playing this now. This is not good enough now. We need to be faster. The minions just kind of die. I think it's too slow. I think I don't like it. I think this card is unbelievable. I think this card is unbelievable. So the thing about Diligent Note Taker, it's kind of sort of a build around, and you're not playing spells because of this, but the cost to draw a second copy of something is kind of super cheap. Storm's Wrath, I think, is the best application here. Windshear Stormcaller is not in Standard, so no, I do not. I don't think it's in Standard. Right? Kobolds. Yeah, that's not a thing. No. Diligent Note Taker is... With Storm's Wrath, this is so insane. With Lava Burst, it's just a lot of damage. I think this is going to dictate... I think this is going to dictate how our deck is built in a lot of ways. Yeah, with Lightning Bloom, it's nutty. I think this changes how our decks look. I just want this card in my Shaman deck, and I want my Shaman deck to be aware that we have this. I mean, it doesn't have to be bad on curve, right? It's still just you can just play a Croc. And if they don't remove it, then you get to play a spell the next turn. Right? Like, you can just play this on 2 and say, if you kill this, okay. And it's fine to play a 2/3. And then if it lives, then the thing happens. I don't know. Your Shaman decks usually lack awareness, then that is something to work on, Horstronaut. That is something to work on. You got to make sure your Shaman decks know what's up. Yeah, like Tempo Sethic, I think, is a good comparison. This is not quite the same as Sethic, but yeah. Yeah, I think that comparison is fair. This card it's super good. Groundskeeper is a control tool that we probably needed, but it's awkward. It's really awkward. What spells do we have that cost 5 or more? Should just keep this tab open. I'm just going to keep this open. Shaman, spell. Wow, these are awful. Wow, these are really bad. It's just Scheme Earthquake. If maybe Tidal Wave were playing it. This card's a 4-mana, 4/5 taunt. This card's a 4-mana, 4/5 taunt. That's correct, Jake and Dance. What's up, Nomad? Are we playing a Tazdingo with 4 attack? I like... Because we're healing after we clear the board. We don't need to heal early. We clear after, like... If you play this, it makes your board clear worse because they're trading into it. And you want to heal later in the game after you've played your board clear. The sequence is kind of not quite where we want to be, I think. Well, if we're not, so we have to have a board clear against an aggressive deck and then not want to play it, I guess. I don't know. Like, I mean, not huge burst heal, it's 5 health. Huge is like Tidal Wave, but this is 5 health. I don't know if 5 health is a big number now. That is ambitious, Woomans. I think this card is worse than it looks by a good bit. I think it's worse than it looks. I don't want to soften up a board. Like, it's fine. I think it's fine. And maybe this is what... But, so I don't think Control Shaman necessarily had a lot of trouble surviving against more aggressive decks. It just didn't win, ever. It didn't do anything later game. Yeah. What's a bit? Control Word kind of sort of wins now, not really? I mean, against old Demon Hunter, right? But Demon Hunter has been nerfed very significantly. 3 mana, deal 2, make 2 1/1s. 3 mana, deal 2, make 2 1/1s. If this doesn't have... If this is just a base copy, how good is deal 2, make 2 1/1s? I think pretty solid. I think yeah, it's improved by spell damage, but I think even if it does not have spell damage, it's good. I think if it does not have spell damage, it's good, and if it does have spell damage, it's very good. Yeah, at 3, it's really, really strong. I mean, Skipper, I'm not worried about Skipper in a deck that's playing this, because we're not playing this to get a board. Yeah, it does go face. Oh, don't worry, Steve, I wrote that down. I just think this is a strong card. I think this is just a strong card. The question is, are we building around it? I don't think we are, but we're including it. The spell damage deck plays this, but I don't think we're building around it. Okay. Yeah. I am giving Trick Totem a 1 on principle. I despise this card, and it is probably good. It says cast a mage spell, right? Random spell. Wait, random spell. It is not class specific. There are so many spells. There are so many spells. I hate this card. 150. I stand by my rating. Enthrallment, you're not a bad person. Just like, how do I phrase this? You know those really endearing characters in movies that you call flawed but with a heart of gold? Flawed but with a heart of gold. Misguided. Yeah. You know those people you root for in movies, and then in the horror films they die third to last? I hope you don't die, Enthrallment. I hope you don't. Trick Totem playing Wild Growth, yeah, obviously, like, crazy. There we go. I'm glad, Enthrallment. We'll put this in a Diligent Note-Taker deck, but which one? Like, Malygos plays it. Malygos Shaman plays it. Some kind of combo Shaman plays it. It's a combo enabler. Does it really enable early game swing turns? I mean, I don't want to... Alright, so any scenario that needs the coin for this card to be good, let's get rid of that. Yes. Let's get rid of the scenario where you need to have the coin, because half the time if your combo doesn't work, it's not a combo. 4 mana 7/7s for 2 cards, yeah. Mana early is better than mana later, but taking a turn off sucks. So... Are we building around this? No one's playing sap right now. A 4-5 on 2? Are we building around this? Are we changing how we build our deck because of Lightning Bloom? I don't think so, but I think it's going in a lot of Lightning Bloom decks. It's going in a lot of decks. Defer Overload? Kind of. You can do it that way, right? You can defer Overload if you want. It can be a balance transfer, or you can overspend on a turn. Overspending, I think, is the way to do it, right? Because if you get a turn 2 Squall Hunter, you basically mitigate one of the overload because you're overdrafting your account. You can do that, Matt. You can absolutely do that, but also you can overdraft. And overdrafting is usually a good thing here because you spend mana crystals that you don't really have. Double Lava Burst on 4. Hey, you can do that. Get 10'd. I think we play Primordial Study in... Yeah, studies are generally good. Well, okay, the Hunter one is pretty bad. The Hunter one is a random Death Rattle minion. Turn 2 Squall Hunter. If we have the coin. Again, I don't want to base it on the coin. But I love that this is narrower. I love that this is narrower. You know, it discovers a random, like, any Death Rattle minion, right? I thought it was a beast at first. It's just any Death Rattle minion. There's so many bad Death Rattles. So many bad Death Rattles. I like this card. I think this card is good. Yeah, the Hunter one just says discover a Death Rattle minion. The Hunter one. This one is good. Spell damage pool is bad? I don't know. Is it? Do I have a spell damage pool on HS lookup? Like, it's fine. 4 mana dragon. It's if you Primordial Studies, it turns into a 3 mana, right? Primordial Studies makes it cost 3. Yeah, the neutrals are bad. Seems fine. I just want spell damage. I just want spell damage. Like, the reason... this is class restricted, yes. This is class restricted. Rune Dagger, like, if spell damage exists, it's because this card exists. If this card exists, or, like, if spell damage exists because of this card, we have to play this. So, by definition, this is a build around. I don't know if the spell damage deck is good enough, but this is the marquee card in the spell damage deck that makes spell damage a thing. You're basically guaranteeing it for 3 turns when you need it, without triggering spell burst. This is a lot of life, but 8 mana deal 3 is not very good. If you're at the point where this gains you a lot of life, how behind are you? Yeah. Because Priest cheats. Priest is a cheater. Reno Jackson? Hockey, how many minions are you killing? What minions do you think are going to be in play? What is this board where it's turn 8, we have a bunch of minions, and we get a bunch of life? I don't know. I don't see a world where we get to this point where, like, I cannot believe how many tutus I'm about to kill or whatever. Like, maybe it's good against Mount Seller. We kill our own minions? As fun as it would be to kill our own minions in exchange for life, I don't see it. I do not see that. Well, Earthquake is definitely better, but, like, okay. When would you play this over Walking Fountain? When are we playing this over Walking Fountain? A Drunk Reno? I mean, I assume that's standard Reno. Yeah, Groundskeeper instead. Walking Fountain. Earthquake. I remember Halaziel, but we didn't play Halaziel and then kill our own Halaziel. And we also dealt more than 3. And also Halaziel was mediocre. I am not playing Tidal Wave together with Walking Fountain. I'm I don't want to play Tidal Wave. I don't like this. With Elemental Destruction, that was a very niche archetype, Steve. Yeah, I don't think this kills enough and it costs so much mana.